1968 Prophecy by 90-year-old woman in Norway. An old woman of 90 from Valdres in Norway had a vision from God in 1968. The evangelist Emmanuel Minos had meeting services where she lived. He had the opportunity to meet her, and she told him what she had seen. He wrote it down, but thought it to be so unintelligible that he put it in a drawer. Now, almost 30 years later, he understands he has to share the vision with others. The woman from Valdres was a very alert, reliable, awake and credible Christian, with a good reputation among all who knew her. This is what she saw. I saw the time just before the coming of Jesus and the outbreak of the Third World War. I saw the events with my natural eyes. I saw the world like a kind of a globe and saw Europe, land by land. I saw Scandinavia. I saw Norway. I saw certain things that would take place just before the return of Jesus, and just before the last calamity happens. A calamity the likes of which we have never before experienced. She mentioned 4 waves. 1. First, before Jesus comes and before the Third World War breaks out, there will be a détente like we have never had before. There will be peace between the superpowers in the East and the West, and there will be a long peace. Remember that this was in 1968 when the Cold War was at its highest. Minos. In this period of peace there will be disarmament in many countries, also in Norway, and we are not prepared when the war comes. The Third World War will begin in a way no one would have anticipated, and from an unexpected place. 2. A lukewarmness without parallel will take hold of the Christians, a falling away from true, living Christianity. Christians will not be open for penetrating preaching. They will not, like in earlier times, want to hear of sin and grace, law and gospel, repentance and restoration. There will come a substitute instead, prosperity, happiness Christianity. The important thing will be to have success, to be something, to have material things, things that God never promised us in this way. Churches and prayer houses will be emptier and emptier. Instead of the preaching we have been used to for generations, like, to take your cross up and follow Jesus, entertainment, art and culture will invade the churches where there should have been gatherings for repentance and revival. This will increase markedly just before the return of Jesus. 3. There will be a moral disintegration that old Norway has never experienced the likes of. People will live together like married without being married. I do not believe the concept cohabita existed in 1968. Minos. Much uncleanness before marriage, and much infidelity in marriage will become the natural, the common, and it will be justified from every angle. It will even enter Christian circles and we pet it, even sin against nature. Just before Jesus' return there will be TV programs like we have never experienced. TV had just arrived in Norway in 1968. Minos. TV will be filled with such horrible violence that it teaches people to murder and destroy each other, and it will be unsafe in our streets. People will copy what they see. There will not be only one station on TV, it will be filled with stations. She did not know the word channel which we use today. Therefore she called them stations. Minos. TV will be just like the radio where we have many stations, and it will be filled with violence. People will use it for entertainment. We will see terrible scenes of murder and destruction one of the other, and this will spread in society. Sex scenes will also be shown on the screen, the most intimate things that takes place in a marriage. I protested and said, we have a paragraph that forbids this kind of thing. Minos. There the old woman said it will happen, and you will see it. All we have had before will be broken down, and the most indecent things will pass before our eyes. 4. People from poor countries will stream to Europe. In 1968 there was no such thing as immigration. Minos. There will also